Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the last trading day of July, guys. Today is but the first trading day of this week. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this today's day today. So I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. That you're all feeling nice and relaxed, and you're ready to hit the new week. And this week, yep, as I said already, yep, it is a bit of an eventful one. And as my title there states, another busy week. Yep, it will be one. So look, we'll have a look at that. But just before we go further, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest, and I'll disappear from that little left corner. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, before we jump into the charts, just a quick update, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. I believe you can find some useful information. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, guys, and honestly, we'll try to help you out. Feel free to visit us. And so ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the charts. So again, as I said, this week is quite a busy one. So let me just quickly pick up on Nikkei. So Nikkei did a nice push higher, as you can see here. We cleared that 32,960 territory. We've cleared the psychological 33,000 area, of course, and yes, we continue to drift a little bit higher. The numbers that came out this morning, the industrial production, Japanese industrial production, was not really, let's say, it didn't really meet in the forecast. The forecast was at 2.4 plus 2.4. It came out at plus 2.0. But still, that's a good sign because, well, the previous one was at minus 2.2. So, hey, that's an improvement. Yes, it didn't really meet the forecast, but it's much better than the previous reading. Now, the positivity that we're seeing here in Nikkei is kind of like a rebound from the end of last week's trading in the U.S. Again, the positivity came in that, look, on Friday we had the PCE numbers from the U.S. and those were on the lower side, so this kind of could potentially push the idea away from the Fed for raising further rates, but look, yes, in the beginning it could be the case. We could see, some positivity like that. We could see some numbers favoring that no rate hike would come in from the Fed, but hey, it's still the beginning of the month right now, so we still have some time. But look, at this point, from the technical perspective, looking at Nikkei, I am leaning towards the upside, but not too much, because I'm only aiming for this downside line initially. This one's drawn from the high of the 16th of June, so at this point, like I said, if we clear it, great. Okay, more buyers could join in. We could go further north, but by further north, actually, I will aim for the 34,000 territory, somewhere around here initially, and then we'll go from there. The China 50 index, okay, explosion to the upside. Look at this. I mean, this is beautiful. This is what I talked about. Look, on Friday, the futures exploded here. This is a Saturday candle here, by the way, but look, well, I think that's a little bit of something wrong here. Tuesday, anyway, I think there's some dates here are wrong a little bit, but anyway, we've exploded to the upside. I mean, because on Friday we saw the indices, the US indices, running nicely to the upside, and or should I say staying up in positive territory, because they didn't really move like strongly higher. No, I think the lot came in during the futures, before the market opened, then it kind of stayed in that area. But look, of course, from the technical perspective here, looking at China 50 index, I mean, yeah, great result here. I cannot say anything else apart from mission accomplished, because look, initially I was kind of aiming maybe for something around here initially, but hey, I think it was a little bit on the modest side, so I had to just go and straight away aim for this 13,522 to 536. I mean, I was aiming for that, but like maybe not as quick as this, but okay, I'll take that. That was a good move. So in general, what I said before, that if we do pop and stay above this 13,064 territory, my next target is somewhere around here. Ideally this. I mean, okay, I'll take that. Great result here, and now we're retracing back down. Okay, look, as long as we remain above this territory somewhere, this 13,064, then yes, certainly more buyers could join in, and we could see, a nice correction here. It's something like that. But in general, I think that I need to raise this a little bit, because I think that that's quite a lot, a decline, quite a lot of correction towards that 200-day EMA, maybe somewhere around here could be good. Nope. Yes. So this is something like that. Maybe the 13,250 zone could be a good one. So let's keep an eye on that one. But yeah, guys, certainly just for now, it's still, the upside scenario is not off the table. However, as I said before, we have a busy week. Look, China, I think they're declining today. Let me just double check something very quickly. Yeah, we got some numbers from China this morning. Okay, the manufacturing PMI did improve by just a little bit, by just fraction, 0.1%. But the non-manufacturing PMI number did decline. So again, this has been another, I think, decline. Let me just quickly double check the chart. Yeah, we have been declining from what? From March, something like that. Yes, the number is just going down. I'm talking about the China non-manufacturing purchasing manager index. Okay, look, that's not the end of the world. It still is in expansion territory because it's above 50, but just to kind of, keep you updated on that. Look, I think that China is kind of moving a little bit separately. I think in a way it's kind of, it seems like it sometimes is together hand in hand with other major indices, and sometimes it's just kind of on its own. So whenever a number comes out, some sort of like a Chinese number, then yes, it kind of just ignores everybody else and just reacts to the number, unlike, for example, Nikkei. So yeah, so that's why be a little bit more on the careful side when you're trading this one. It does present itself with nice opportunities. Just I would say keep your eyes on the economic data from China as well. ASX 200. So looking at the picture here, I would say what? I would say it's interesting because look, I was kind of aiming for this initially, and it kind of held and it didn't. So I mean, it's not really picture perfect, so I really don't like this one actually. So I mean, I'm trying to find where it got its resistance from, but nowhere actually. It's like just somewhere randomly here. So I'll mark that. I think the 7,444 zone. So if we do pop above it, then yes, I'll go higher. At this point, look, I'm gonna be very careful here with the ASX 200 because it does have a busy week. Now, of course, as we know that the index does react to the US a lot, but at the same time, it reacts to its own data and to Chinese data. So this is, like I said, this is the interesting bit. So yeah, because again, we know that the Australian economy is heavily dependent on the Chinese economy as well. So both both need each other, as always. Everybody needs each other, to be honest. I mean, you cannot really, go solo in this world. Actually, everybody needs each other. And look, and another thing that could kind of factor in here in this, this week for ASX 200, and some of you probably already know what that is, and that's the Australia's interest rate decision. So RBA interest rate decision is coming out on Tuesday, so tomorrow. So keep your eyes on that. That's going to be early hours if you're in Europe. The expectation is for a rise, for a 25 basis point increase. Now, as we know, last time Australia kept the interest rate as it is at 4.1. So it was another expectation. I mean, last time it was the same case. The previous number was at 4.1. The expectation was for 4.35. It came out at 4.1. Now, what will the RBA do? Now, of course, I mean, a little bit of intrigue. There is a little bit of intrigue in there. But again, let's see what they're going to do. I mean, will they go for a hike? Will they follow the Fed's footsteps? Or actually they will take a careful approach, and they will say, you know what, let's wait and see, and let's wait, and let's keep an eye on our inflation number, which, by the way, is slowing down in Australia. So just to kind of refer, last time when I talked about RBA, I told you guys that look, they have quite a high inflation number, like around 7. The reading that came out, when was that? Like, just let me double check. July 26th. There we go. Yes, last week on the 26th of July, the new number came out. The expectation was for a 6.2. The previous number was 7, and it came out at 6. So it's quite a decent. It's like a 1% drop. I mean, that's quite significant, I would say. If the next number is expected to drop again by like another percent, like it's going to be 5. So the inflation actually in Australia could be falling very quickly. So that's why I'm very, very curious if actually RBA is going to go for a rate hike, or will they say, you know what, let's keep on monitoring this one. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see if we can actually stay with the 4.1. You know what? I really, somewhere deep in me, I would like to see another pause from a rate hike, just so that they would like take an approach, wait and see, because inflation is already dropping. However, of course, they're not going to do what I wanted them to do. But oh well, it's not a bad thing to dream. But long story short, guys, I would say this way. At this point, looking at the technical picture of ASX 200, then yes, if we start falling back below the upper side of this broadening triangle pattern, which I've mentioned before, right here, then yes, I will consider a bit of a move here to the downside. But if we do rebound somewhere from this upside line, maybe ideally, then yes, of course, more buyers could join in. But I think that for me, I would like to see a push above the 7,444 territory in order to go higher, because a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed, and then I'll aim for my 7,529.30 zone. As always, good morning, everyone in the chat room. Yep, there we go. Good morning, everyone, guys. I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Monday. Now, yes, of course, this week is quite a busy one, and as I said to you, that look, interest rate decisions, yeah, we're done with that in the U.S. However, it's time for NFPs. Yeah, NFPs are coming out. So this week we're gonna have the NFPs on Friday. Of course, honestly, there's gonna be a lot of US data. I think important US data like ADP numbers as well are gonna be coming out. And not to mention that, let me just quickly scroll through my economic calendar. The ISM manufacturing PMI numbers coming out on Tuesday as well, guys. So keep your eyes on that. What else from the US? ADP, as I mentioned, on Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll get the initial and continuous jobless claims. that's true. And yes, S&P Global US Services PMI numbers are coming out. ISM non-manufacturing PMIs, and yeah, basically that's going to be Thursday for us, and Friday, of course, the NFP. So that's going to be quite interesting to watch. Look, at this point, I'm not going to gamble on this one too much. I'm just going to go every day with what I have, because to be honest, it might be a little bit tricky. Also, I think, but I'll get to that in a bit. I'll get to the FTSE in a little bit, but about the BOE. But anyway, looking at the technical picture here on the Dow, you can see that we're stuck in between these two levels, or I should say these areas. So I'm keeping an eye on this area, the 35,751. Why? Because basically we are this is the high here, the highest point of February of 2022, and this is quite a good barrier, as you can see here. Yes, we had a few overshoots, but that's fine. And if we clear that one, then yes, more buyers could join in. Now, in terms of the downside, the 35,350 territory is something that I'm keeping a close eye on. So if we do fall back below it, then yes, of course, I'll consider a bit of a move lower, and, or should I say, a larger retracement here to the downside. Initially aiming for the 50-day EMA together with this highlighted zone, but then I'll just take it from there. Let me just clean up the chart a little bit, because I think that some of this needs to go away. So yeah, yeah, guys, look, it's quite an interesting one. I think that it could present itself with nice opportunities, but at this point, I'm waiting until as long as we remain in here, I'm waiting until it's gonna get out of there, and then I'll do something about it. Now, the Nasdaq 100, and the Nasdaq 100 is near its downside line, which is a little bit on the tentative side. Don't get me wrong. It's I've drawn this one. I didn't say that this is going to be the most important line of your life, or no. It's just a tentative one. Just I'm keeping an eye on that 15,857 territory. If we clear it, then yes, I will go a little bit to the upside here. I'll go higher, and I'll aim for that 16,000 mark, and then maybe going further north. But that's my game plan for Nasdaq futures here. The cash index has a little bit lower price, so just check out that. I mean, but still doesn't matter. As long, what matters here is the are the patterns, or the breakout levels. So yeah, at the moment, this is what I'm watching here. The German index, DAX, beautiful move last week. Congratulations to all who managed to capture this one. This is what I kept on talking about. I said to you that if we do pop and stay above this barrier, my next target is the 16,571 territory here on the futures. And look at this. I mean, beautiful test. This is the highest point of June. And I think that we did create a slightly higher level. Yeah, we did create a new high for this year. Just briefly visited like the area above this 16,571. Where's that level? 16,576. Okay. So yes, we found some good resistance here. Now the question is, can we go further north? And to be honest, I need to see a push above this territory in order to go higher. For now, I'm just playing the waiting game, and I'm gonna see if we can actually do something here. Can we maybe, if we do fall back below the 16,332, then yes, I will consider a move lower. But of course, for now, as long as we stay in here, I will continue observing the price action. I'm not going to really do much, because I want to see how this is going to play out here. But if it does pop up and stay above this 16,571, 76, let's say, then yes, I will consider a further move north. Because don't forget that overall we are within this rising wedge pattern, and we could still see a test of the upper side of it. But again, I get it. The rising wedge is a bearish pattern, but it's a bearish pattern when it breaks the lower side of this rising wedge. So that's why I would say for now, just be a little bit on the cautious side, and be careful. And that's why I'm going to consider, let's say, some lower levels if we do fall below this area, below that 16,332. In terms of the European news this week, I think we have the preliminary CPI numbers. Let me just quickly double check that with myself with the calendar here. Yeah. When's that? Tuesday? Sorry, no, today. Today we have the preliminary EU preliminary CPI numbers and also the preliminary GDP numbers. So keep your eyes on those guys. Those are not the final ones, but just the preliminary ones, of course. But still, equally could be important, especially for those Euro traders or DAX traders. So keep an eye on that. The FTSE 100, very quickly on this. Yeah, UK index here, and of course, it will be subject. Its movement will be subject to the interest rate decision. So, which is going to come out on Thursday, I think. Let me just quickly double check. Where is that GBP? Yeah, I think it was Thursday. Yeah, there we go. So, currently, the expectation is for a 25 basis point increase. So going from 5% to 5.25. Now, will that be the case? Again, we don't know because, look, probably yes, because in their inflation, UK's inflation is one of the highest from the, let's say, the Western countries. So it's currently sitting at 7.9. So when even Australia has dropped, and Germany is sitting at 6.2. So UK inflation is 7.9. So that's a lot. So the current interest rate is at 5. So most likely they're going to go for another hike, just try to bring that inflation down. But look from the technical perspective on the FTSE 100, I would say still the same game plan is valid. I said to you before that as long as we stay below this barrier, the 7,704 zone, approximately around there, then yes, I will consider something like this here, maybe a bit of a retracement back down. But if it starts popping above that 7,704 zone, then yes, of course, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed. So US dollar, and this one's I said to you on Friday, don't rush into anything because maybe this is going to be flagging out. And well, look at this, it is flagging out. It's forming something of a bullish flag. Okay, that's good. But not good enough. Why? Because if you're a bull, then you're probably looking for some higher levels on this one. And again, data that's going to be coming out this week and from the US, that's going to really impact the US dollar. And I think that be careful if you're trading something with the US dollar. Because as I said, we have those ISM numbers, we have those initial and continuous jobless claims again, as always, as every week. But of course, the ADP and non-NFP numbers are also coming out, so keep your eyes on those. Yeah, for now, I would say, although I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside on this one, I need to see that pop, and I need to see the body of the daily candle staying above that 50-day EMA at least, in order for me to start aiming for the 100-day EMA, and then maybe for the 200-day EMA. Simple as that. For the downside, I would like to see a drop back below this hurdle. I get it, it's quite a lot, but look, if you want to start looking from something earlier on, then maybe this hurdle could help out. This 101.11. So basically, let me just grab this. Something like this could be, a game plan. But again, in that case, look, it could drift lower, could test this territory, and then going to rebound back up. So just be careful. But again, like I said, if you are feeling adventurous, you can start looking at some lower levels from around here. The only problem, not the problem, but the only thing is that, as always, guys, I keep on mentioning this, have your stop loss in place. And, you risk only what you can afford to lose, and then everything will be fine. But just consider the fact that we could see, let's say, a false breakout here and drift lower, a test maybe in this area, and then rebound back up. So, just be a little bit on the cautious side. Daredevil Dave, good morning to you too. Happy to see you here. Happy to see everybody else who's joining in, who's staying quiet for now in the chat room. But yeah, good morning to you too. I hope you had a fantastic weekend as well. But look, well, not but to your weekend, but coming back to the charts. So yeah, that's the situation with the US dollar. Look, at this point, I think that it's quite reasonable to wait maybe for a pop here and then do something about it. Gold, our beloved gold. Okay, look, I talked about this. We did drift lower here. We tested that hurdle, this 1945-46 zone. We're currently resting on the 50-day EMA, so basically, if you're looking for some lower levels, then a drop below that 50-day EMA would be needed. Then I'll aim for the 100-day EMA, and this for this 1946 zone. This, if that gets cleared, certainly yes, further declines are possible, and blah blah blah, and so and further, right? The standard approach. However, one thing that you need to keep in mind, why I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside, then yes, because maybe it's forming a nice bearish flag right here. So we have our pole, we have our little correction here. This is what I also talked about on Friday, because again, it's kind of, the opposite to the US dollar. And yeah, we're seeing here a possible bearish flag formation. So, and in general, it comes in line with my idea of waiting for a break below the 50-day EMA and then doing something about this. At this point, I'm just observing this one. If I want to go higher, and to be honest, I'm going to take a very conservative approach, and I'll wait for a break of this downside line. Daredevil Dave, yes, I did. Thank you. Yeah, happy for that. Everybody has to remember they have to relax during weekends. I mean, don't if you feel tired, let's put it this way: if you feel tired, if let's say your weekend was a little bit tiring, you had way too much partying and or let's say way too much work, then just be careful this the upcoming week, because that can impact you really, and believe me. So just either, if you still want to trade, in general I would say don't trade, but if you still, until you kind of feel refreshed, because that's very very important. Your head has to be clear as the sky. Well, of course it depends where where you are. Maybe your sky's cloudy or maybe not, but let's say a sky in the equator. So you have to be, like I said, your head has to be clear, and then, or if if you still want to trade, then I would say minimal lot size. Yeah, that's very important. And then kind of then you'll see if you got it right or not. Just rather always examine not only the markets but also yourself, how you feel. If you feel crap, then no, don't approach the markets. Silver. Yeah, similar story, bearish flag potentially. Yeah, so far so good. I'm leaning towards the 50-day EMA or the 100-day EMA at the moment. That's my game plan. Look, everything's still in line with that. So as long as we stay below this highlighted zone right here, which is between the 24.53 and 60 levels, then yes, certainly I'm going to go lower. Look, I'm going to I have a few instruments that I really want to pick up here. I have some commodities, a lot of commodities right now, so I'll just skip this so far. Like I said, silver is doing a good job, so that's what I'm aiming. If we want to go higher, look, for now I have this level, but I think that I will start lowering. If we do start popping back above this highlighted territory, yes, I'll consider maybe a bit of a move to the upside. Copper. Just a quick update. Look, it was a roller coaster ride last week. We tested the 200-day EMA, rebounded from it, pushed higher. So now the question is, can we go up here? Because again, maybe we're forming a nice ascending triangle pattern. But for that, I need that pop above the 3.96, 97 territory, somewhere around here. And I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying above it in order to go higher. At the moment, I'm just observing the price action, because it could, while it stays in this triangle pattern, it could move in here. It could just maybe even actually test the highlighted zone here and then drift back down. Kim Yasemin, good morning. Good morning to you too. I can see you there in the chat room. So very nice of you to tune in. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, coming back to this again, while we remain inside the pattern, I'm kind of just observing the price action. If we start doing something here, if we start pushing through this highlighted zone, as I said, I'll go a little bit higher. Oil, just a quick update. So we climbed above that 80 zone, the psychological $80 mark. Okay, that's great. What can we do next? Well, to be honest, I'm going to stick to my idea, and as long as we stay above this $80 mark, I'm going to go higher. My next target is the 83.54, and then I'll take it from there. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below this upside line and then start moving lower. This, like I said, for now I'm cautiously bullish, and yes, as long as we stay above this $80 mark, I will go higher. The reason why I'm cautiously bullish is because we kind of already got that move to the upside here, so we had that already breakout. So my question now, can we see, you know, another, after we saw this, another breakout? Can we go further north? Can we maintain this upside scenario? Well, my next target ideally is the 83.54, which is the highest point of April of this year, and I think that's also the highest point of this year. Yep, there we go. That's going to be quite interesting to see if we can reach the highest point of this year. And another thing, this is me probably trying to get ahead of myself a little bit. Maybe we could end up in a range here this year. Okay, let's see. Let's wait and see. But it would be quite interesting to watch that. So at this point, look, while as long as we remain above the $80 mark, our next target is the 83.54, and then I'll take it from there. Wheat. So there we go. We're drifting lower. Basically, this is what I talked about. And I talked about the fundamentals last week and the week before that. I told you guys that, look, yes, there were these concerns, you know, around Russia-Ukraine situation, and that, you know, the wheat supply could be damaged, but no, it cannot be. They still have loads of wheat, and they need to sell it. So, you know, we got that little hype, we got that little boost of price, and there we go. Congratulations, it worked, and now it's drifting to the downside. So unless they start coming out with some sort of threats that, you know, the supply is under threat, and yeah, then we'll see another maybe boost, you know, to the upside. But at this point, that my technicals are working out nicely here, and fundamentals as well. And yes, I mean, I said to you before that if we do drop back below the 718 territory, somewhere around here, then yes, I will consider a move towards this highlighted zone tick. And if this highlighted zone gets cleared, well, guess what? I'm leaning towards further declines here. Initially, of course, I'm aiming for the EMAs. I want to see how we're going to get a hold up here. But if those get cleared, well, yeah, my next target is this upside line drawn from the low, the 31st of May. So yeah, at this point, I am just observing this and watching this situation and hoping for the best. In case we want to examine the upside, I will take a very conservative approach and wait for a 757 break here, and then yes, I will consider a move higher. Soybeans, beautiful decline. Look at this. I mean, I haven't looked at this for quite a while, to be honest. And I know that maybe it's not your most traded instrument, but look, I do like these scenarios here. I mean, I do like these instruments because they do present themselves with nice opportunities. And look at this beautiful break of this upside line drawn from the low, the 31st of May. We're drifting lower, and automatically my next level could be around here somewhere in this 1356 zone. So as long as we stay below this hurdle here, this 1425.26, this 1426 territory, then yes, I'm leaning further south. I'm aiming lower, and where's my arrow? There we go. So yes, and I'm aiming for this territory right here. Look, the news that came out, why we saw this great, you know, decline here, is because there are some news that the weather is stabilizing in the U.S., and as we know, U.S. is one of the big exporters of soybeans. So initially there were threats that, you know, there could be drought, and you know, it could affect the soybean market, or in general the soybean, corn, you know, other grains, and so. And yeah, but now it seems like the weather forecast is not bad, and there we go. We're seeing a nice decline here. If you managed to capture this, somebody out there, congratulations on this, you know. But look, What can we do? Like I said, this is what I'm going to do for now. I'm going to aim lower as long as we stay below the 1,426 territory. Cotton. Cotton is also an interesting one. Look, I threw out this idea before. I talked about this here, and on the 24th of July, I said to you that, look, I'll aim higher if we do clear the upper side of this range. I'll aim lower if we do clear the lower side of this range. And by the way, guys, for all you out there who wants to maybe throw out their own idea or something like that, then you can do that. One thing, if you can, for example, do, this is where we're trying to test out right now. So let's say if you throw out your idea and try to put us here in the comment, not in the comment, but in the chat, sorry, in the chat, in the description, just tick us, you know, put your like at easy markets and kind of mention us in there, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if, you know, if you can like grab one of our instruments, of course, obviously, and just kind of, you know, throw out an idea there. Then I'll pick up on that, and I will I'll see which one's, you know, which one's the best one, which could be which is interesting one, and yeah, I'll mention that in the webinar. So just I thought that this could be quite interesting. We here decided maybe, you know, something to have like a little bit more interaction between us. I mean, just to kind of, you know, make it a little bit more live and interesting for you as well. So yeah, like I said, let's try. Let's see where it goes. I mean, you know, if you have an idea somewhere, just throw it out. Just mention us in the not in the comment, but in the description there. Like, just, you know, throw us out there, and yeah, well, let's see how that plays out. So yeah, but with cotton, that's the situation. It's quite an interesting one. I'm waiting for this one to do something. But again, for now, maybe it could drift back down. Who knows? Let's say I will consider a move lower if we do fall below the EMAs right here, and then I'll consider a move towards the lower side of this range. So yeah, if you're looking at some higher levels, then certainly yes, a push above the upper side here of this range is required. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin. Just bear with me one moment. Okay, so okay, sorry, just stopped kind of there a little bit. Sorry, sorry for the pause. I was just checking some comments, and but not in the chat room. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, so with Bitcoin, look, we broke the downside line, so that means that it's a little bit way too on the tentative side, so it's maybe not really even relevant. So we're going to continue just monitoring that 29,500 zone, which so far is doing a good job and providing resistance. Now, as long as we stay below it, yes, I will continue examining lower levels. If we do pop and stay above this territory, then okay, we could consider maybe a bit of a move higher. Who knows? But maybe we could aim for this little territory somewhere, this 30,444, 440 zone, something like that. But look, it's not ideal, or maybe this territory, this 400 zone, I would say in general, yeah. So look, at this point, I need something better. I need something more, more exciting to drive this this crypto world. And at the moment, I think the only thing is that we are watching the whole SEC situation with everything in general. But that kind of was brought down a little bit, I think, just because I think that they're trying to remove all the negativity from the the crypto world, because BlackRock a while ago showed its interest to create a Bitcoin ETF. So politics win. So it's like, it's a beautiful show as always. So we'll see how it's going to play out. Of course, like I said, maybe they will come out with some sort of statement later on. And yeah, at this point, it's very interesting to see what's going to happen further with that BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. And as I've mentioned to you like a month ago about this, that it's very difficult to say no to a biggest asset manager in the world. So, you know, it's what, around 3 trillion or 6, I can't remember, 3 trillion AUM, assets under management. I mean, that's insane. Anyway, so yeah, that's the game plan for Bitcoin. Let's see. Litecoin. So this one's a little bit more interesting because look, I mean, it worked out nicely. I reached my target, 96.43. I got it. I talked about this idea here. I said to you that this is could be a falling wedge pattern. Yeah, and there we go. We broke the upper side. We climbed above the 50-day EMA, and I said that if we do stay above this 50-day EMA, my next target is the 94.35 and then the 96.43. Boom. Fantastic. What's next? I'll just take that level here, this 96.43, and if we clear that one, then yes, more buyers here could join in. For the downside, I would like to see actually a drop at least back below the 100-day EMA and then aim lower. Initially aiming for the, actually, you know what? I'll start already looking at some lower levels if we do fall below the 50. Below the 50-day EMA. So, yep, long story short, if we do fall here, then I'll aim for the 100, and then if the 100 clears, then gets cleared, then I'll aim for the 200-day EMA. So jumping into a few pairs, guys, very quickly before I run out of time on this one. So AUDUSD looking good. So after we broke the upside line, we drifted lower. Okay, we didn't really reach this highlighted zone of mine, the 0.66 territory. That's okay. We're seeing now some retracement. But now the question is, can we get a hold up here, and can we see another decline? Because this is the scenario that I'm going to be looking at. So if we do continue to trade below this upside line, then certainly, yes, more sellers could join in. If we're looking for some higher levels, then yes, more buyers could join in here. And but look, I think that for me, the better option here is I need to adjust a few levels here, honestly. I think that this is a little bit wrong. So I think that maybe I will start looking at some higher levels if we do pop above this territory, above the 0.6730. At the same time, we could also pop above the 200-day EMA, and maybe, just maybe, we could break this downside line. So, long story short, we are not there yet, of course. We're still below this upside line, so still the downside scenario is valid. But again, if we start climbing here higher, then all eyes for me are going to be on here. While we remain in between these trend lines, I'm going to be neutral. But if we start clearing one of the sides here or one of these territories, which I've mentioned already, then yes, I'll go a little bit higher. AUDNZD. So looking at the situation here, look, I said to you before that if we do fall below the 1.0842 zone right here, then yes, of course, more sellers, could, if we do fall below this territory, then yeah, more sellers could join in. Then I'll aim for my 1.08 territory, which so far is doing a magnificent job, providing a good support. But if that gets cleared and we stay below it, then yes, further declines are possible. We cleared, we didn't stay. So I need that. I need that first, and then yes, I'll get a little bit more excited with further declines. So yeah, at this point, I would say if you're looking for some lower levels, there is still a possibility. If you're looking for some higher levels, this is where I need to bring my arrow down a little bit. I'm gonna keep an eye on this hurdle. I'm gonna keep an eye on. Let me just do this. So I'm going to keep an eye on this 1.0842. If we do clear that and we jump above that 200-day EMA, potentially more buyers could join in. AUDJPY. So yes, this one's pushing nicely to the upside. Well, guess what? Guess why? Because the market, the stock market is feeling better now again, and everybody's leaving Japanese yen. So we're seeing a nice strong move here in AUDJPY. We're pushing back in. And I think what I need to do here, to be honest, I think I need to remove all the drawings and start fresh. Now, one thing that I'm going to bring here is this downside line. I still like it, and I'm still going to stick to it. So if you want to go higher, maybe a break of this downside line is needed. If we do push above the 95.86 territory right here, then yes, potentially more buyers could join in, and we could see a move towards the 96.83 or maybe the 97.67 territory right here. If we like I said, only if we clear this downside line and this 95.86 territory right here. While we remain in here, I'm just going to observe the price action, stay neutral, and just see, what we can do here next. In terms of the downside, I think that I like this level, the 93.008 zone, marked by the low of the 12th of July here. Not the lowest point of July. The lowest point of July is around here, 91.75, or let's round it up here a little bit, 80. And if we do fall below this territory, then yeah, I will get a little bit more excited with the downside. So yeah, 93.08 zone, and then we'll take it from there. CHFJPY. CHFJPY is having a beautiful rebound from this upside line. I talked about it last week. So yep, for now, also the same story. Everybody's leaving the yen and jumping into more risky assets. However, it's a little bit of a difficult one right now. It's not that it's long term. It's kind of short term. I think there's way too much speculation. There's no clarity in terms of maybe even medium term, to be honest. Everything's short term right now. So that's why I'm saying, just go with the flow right now. Go with what you see on the chart and try to position yourself carefully. And always remember about the opposite scenario. I mean, opposite to your direction which you chose. So because, for example, in here, if we're aiming higher, yes, I'm aiming higher right now. I'm aiming for that 164 zone. If we clear that one, then yeah, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed, and potentially more buyers could join in. That's all fine. But look, I'm not kind of removing the chances for or avoid getting rid of the chances for, let's say, from moving to the downside here. But for this, I need to see a break of this upside line, and if we do clear this upside line and we fall below the 50-day EMA, then yeah, I'm gonna go lower. That's it. USDJPY, beautiful move here to the upside. So yeah, look, I mean, so far this is playing out nicely. I said to you that if we do climb back above this 140.50 zone, I'm leaning towards the upside. Also, if we climb back above the 50-day EMA, great, wonderful. Everything is working out nicely so far. So good. I'm targeting the this downside line, especially if we do pop above the 142 territory as well. And then we'll go further north, maybe towards that 143 zone. But again, let's go slowly. If you want to go lower on this one, I think that the good option here is to wait for a drop back below the 140.50. But then, of course, it's still risky. It's still a bit of a gamble, but at least we could start looking at some lower levels. USDCHF, this one's trying to remain positive. This is where it's interesting that we're trying to stay above that 0.87 territory, but I don't know if it is going to happen or not, but so far it is happening. So yeah, I would say, look, if we continue to trade above this 0.87 territory, I'm going to aim for that 50-day EMA. That's it. If we do start falling somewhere below this 0.8656, 41 zone, something like this here, then yeah, I will consider a move a little bit lower. USDCAD, very quickly on that one. Look, this pair is still trading. Well, it actually, cleared the upper side of the range nicely here on Friday, and we stayed above it. So we're now kind of retracing back down, testing this upper side of the range. We're struggling to move below it, so that's a good sign for the bulls. But I think that I need some more clarity on this one, and I think maybe for some higher levels, I'm going to keep an eye on the Friday's high. In general, I'm still kind of bullish, don't get me wrong. As long as we remain above this upper side of the range, I'm still leaning towards the upside. But, of course, again, every time an element of the doubt remains, and that's why, we kind of try to, be a little bit careful, try to position ourselves nicely here. So at this point, look, if we do a rebound from this territory, great. But if we start pushing above the 1.3254 territory right here, which is the Friday's high, then yes, I will slowly aim to the upside. Because why slowly? Because I have the 50-day EMA here initially, but if that gets cleared, certainly, yeah, potentially more buyers could join in. Also, something to mention is this upside line, which again, maybe a little bit on the tentative side, who knows, but again, could be an interesting one to watch. So that's why maybe the downside scenario could come in from a break of this upside line. GBPUSD. So yes, of course, we're going to be watching the BOE interest rate decision. Yeah, and that's going to be, I think, a good contributor to the movement in GBPUSD later on this week. So just be a little bit more cautious. In the meantime, before the BOE, which is coming out on Thursday. So before the BOE, of course, this may be subject to kind of information from the US. I mean, because this is GBPUSD we're looking at, so we could see some movement here. Now, I need to get rid of, from the technical side, I need to get rid of this upside line. It's no longer needed. It's not really working well. So yeah, for now, I would say this way, that if we do push above the psychological 130 zone, I'll go higher. I know it's a huge area to miss out on, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, to be honest. For the upside, for the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 50-day EMA, and then I will move a little bit lower. GBPNZD, this one's beautiful, very, very beautiful. Look, in a way, we're kind of in a range, but actually within the range, we have an ascending triangle forming. So as I said to you before, that as long as we stay above this upside line, which is drawn from the low of the 14th of July, then yes, we could see, we could see some kind of moves to the upside, and we did see those moves, and we tested the upper side here near the 2.0920 zone. So this is our barrier for the upside. And look, I'm going to take a conservative approach, and I'm going to wait until we get that clearance here. So if we clear that barrier, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in. Now, in terms of the downside, a break of this upside line is needed, and a drop below the 50-day EMA here could be nice as well. This is what I need here. At this point, I'm just observing the price action, watching this upside line, and waiting for a breakout. Yep. GBPJPY, just a quick update in this one. Look, I mean, I talked about this one previously. I said to you that, hey, this could look as a descending triangle pattern. Yes, we did break lower. We did move lower, but we didn't really reach my target here. We came very close to that, but hey, you have to, take that sometimes. It came around, did around what, like 80% of the move here, and just kind of didn't finish off testing this this 100-day EMA, and we started rebounding back up, pushing higher. On Friday, yes, this positivity risk on environment kicked in. And yes, everybody was dumping Japanese yen and pushing higher. So we cleared the downside line, and it means that there is potential now to go higher. And my next target is the 182.53. If that gets cleared, my next target is the 184 zone right here. So, yep, long story short, that's the game plan. And yeah, let's wait and see. For now, like I said, that's my scenario for some higher levels. EUROJPY, similar story. Similar actually movement, as you can see here. We climbed above the this hurdle here. I had to draw the arrow this way actually. So as long as we stay above the 155.59 zone here, yes, I'm gonna lean towards this 158 zone. If I'm looking for some lower levels, I think that maybe a drop below this zone here could be ideal. A drop below the 155.15 zone right here could be a good area to watch for some lower levels. Euro Aussie, just very quickly on that one. Euro Aussie. So this one's interesting. Look, because we are. Yes, we're violating this 1.6555 territory, but at the same time, it's kind of holding, or should I say the area near it is holding. So it's kind of providing that resistance. And yeah, it's not, at the same time, it's annoying me, but at the same time, it's quite an interesting situation here. Look, in general, what I said to you before, that if we do pop and stay above the 1.6414 zone right here, then yes, I'll go higher. We went higher, we tested this upper side. So now my question is, can we go, let's say, back down here? Can we fall, let me get rid of this. Can we fall back below this 1.6414 territory? If we can, then yep, I will consider a move towards the 50-day EMA, and if that gets cleared, the 100-day EMA could be nice as well. So that's my situation here with Euro Aussie. At the same time, look, overall, we're stuck in a range, right? Okay, we're stuck in a range. We're moving sideways. The prevailing trend before we go into this range is to the upside. So that means that there is a greater chance for this to move out to the upside according to all the TA rules. However, we have seen this happening in the opposite direction, but just in general, like I said, guys, I'm not excluding the upside scenario just because of this whole thing, and I try to stick to my TA rules. And yes, if that gets, if we do get a clearance here, then great, more buyers could join in. And finally, EURUSD, yes, we tested this upside line. We had a beautiful rebound. What's next? Well, one thing that I really want to do is I want to clear up everything. To be honest, I want to start fresh. I'll bring some of the lines back, don't get me wrong, no, of course, but I like to, have this whenever I have too many lines, and I know that, okay, some of them are good, some of them are already useless, but that's why I just remove everything, have a fresh look, and then just, it helps a lot. Now, we can see that we're trading above this. First of all, we're trading above all of the EMAs. That's good. That seems to be like a bullish sign. We're also trading above this upside line drawn from the low of the 31st of May. That's also a nice bullish sign. However, we're now stuck below this downside line. And I get it, it's a little bit on the tentative side, but still a downside line drawn from the high of the 18th of July. If we do clear this downside line, that's where I'm going to start aiming higher, and I'm going to aim for my beloved level, which or should I say area around that, this territory. So near this 1.114550 zone, that's what I'm going to aim for. If we do break this downside line, if we clear that 1.1150 zone, then yes, I will go further north, but that's for later. At this point, we're just observing this, the price action. While we remain in between these two trend lines, I'm just neutral. For the downside, look, if we do fall below the 50-day EMA, we have the upside line as well, so that's no good for us here. Yeah, that's why maybe a drop somewhere. Maybe somewhere below in this territory, actually, this 1.0977 actually could be a nice, interesting target because it acted as a good area of resistance, support, and support as well. So yeah, look, I'll do this actually. I'll keep an eye on this 1.0977. If we do clear that, my next target is the 100-day EMA. If the 100-day EMA gets cleared, the 200-day one is the next one. But at this point, look, I am just observing the price action. So yep, I am watching what's going to happen here. And yeah, unfortunately, maybe it's not the most exciting one, but maybe it'll be exciting later on. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for tuning in and watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much for everything, for your attendance. Don't forget to have your stop loss in place, risk only which you can afford to lose, and don't overtrade, and everything will be fine in that. But yeah, guys, join me tomorrow morning for another Easy Markets Daily Picture International. And yes, we're getting closer to my 100th episode already. So, but that's gonna be next week. So yeah, guys, I hope you have a fantastic trading day today. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.